Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Craving Crypto podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about whether Bitcoin is good to be buying on the short term. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter and sweeter video today because I'm getting ready to go to some crypto meetups here in Las Vegas. Been doing some networking since I moved, but we'll get right into our analysis and get into the video here. I've been starting on the total market cap chart. Today we're going to be starting on the Bitcoin chart because I feel that sometimes the poor Bitcoin chart gets left uncharted on the high altitude channel. So today we're going to do analysis on it first. It is, the most dear to our heart, considering the fact that it is the reason that we have all of these shit coins other than Bitcoin around today. Let's just go ahead and zoom in right here on the smaller time frame. I adjusted my bottom line. This still looks like it's holding within its triangle pattern. I'm not going to jump the gun that we got a bear break out of this. If you're really crazy with your lines, some people are like, well, I'm just going to connect all my wicks on the bottom right here, and as you can see, we got a clear bear break and it's time to short the bull trap. You may be right. Who knows? For now, I'm going to work with the fact that we have 3 other wicks at this level and the fact that it could be a potential price point as support. And if this level does break, then yeah, I'm going to be leaning a lot more towards the bearish scenario right here. Specifically, if this 5,900 level gets taken out on Bitcoin, that's going to drop us now down to this support level right here pretty quickly, in my opinion. But we do have a short-term kind of sign of hope for Bitcoin. First of all, the subject of today's video is the fact that Cnbc is short. If you click on Twitter, you can go see that they're short. And 85% of the time, CNBC is wrong with whatever they're saying it's going to do. So they went short right after the drop, right when it hit support, which is pretty obviously not something you want to be trusting. But, just from my perspective, that could give the market some momentum back on the upside. As a triangle does get smaller and smaller into a smaller confined space, it loses its potency, so it doesn't have as much strength. You have to remember that either way, Bitcoin has been in such a low volatility range for so long. In my opinion, when we get a breakout, we're going to see some strength out of that, even if this triangle pattern has consolidated for a while. Just because people are going to want to make money on whatever direction it is, and Bitcoin being a highly volatile asset, I think the whales are going to come around and give it some juice, even though this triangle does technically lack the juice that you'd want to see. It's better if it breaks out sooner, and same with ascending triangle patterns. If they break out sooner before it goes clear to the end, it's more likely to be a strong breakout to the upside. And then another thing to be aware of is there's a very small Ichimoku cloud right here. Very thin Ichimoku on the daily. So that's a good sign. The thinner the cloud, the easier it is for it to get above. There's also a thin cloud on the 12-hour. So if we can start to break up right here and get above resistance levels out through that cloud, that's going to really look good for the bulls. I'm still completely unbiased here, somewhat neutral. I would prefer a bull breakout because I want to buy the dip. It would be easier to trade this pattern as a higher low pattern rather and average into buying after a breakout and buying back onto the support rather than trying to call the bottom of a capitulation wick, especially since wicks on some exchanges end up happening quicker than others, and sometimes the price drops lower. Sometimes you get some exchanges that just do huge wicking events. The 2-day does have a lot of Ichimoku resistance right now, so that does kind of show some strength for the bearish perspective there. And same with the 3-day has a pretty big Ichimoku cloud. But I would suspect that the majority of the people using the Ichimoku are going to be using the 4-hour time frames and the 1-day time frames. So that's something to kind of think about as far as what time frame is going to mean the most for the prices. The total market capitalization is bouncing off this level. If we do get to see some type of a curling structure, really, you guys, when I say that you really shouldn't buy something that still could be dropping, we're talking about not catching a falling knife. So when you're playing trends, you want to see something start to make higher lows. If you drop a bunch in price and then it bounces a little bit like this, and then you start to buy, and then it just drops again, you're not going to be happy that you bought. But if it drops and it bounces a little bit, and then it bounces a little bit again, and it makes a new high, and then it comes back down and it tests this as support, and then you buy and it makes an even new high, then you could be seeing, okay, this might be curling back on the upside. You don't want to catch a falling knife. You don't want to call bottoms. If you start to get a trend that starts to show some signs of an upward trend, then you can say, okay, this is likely to be a right shoulder. Right now, this is just a potential to have a right shoulder come in place for the total market cap. It's just something that I'm watching to happen because there's a big support level right here. If we get a failure of that support, then obviously, yeah, we got a failure of that support. But we can't jump the gun as to a right shoulder coming into place until we start to make some higher lows and some higher highs, and the structure of a curl for the market to get the momentum and build the trend, build the strength, to start to break out and make new highs on the short term, get above this level, and maybe even come test this level up here or in this kind of range right here. That's what I'm looking at right here for the total market cap. We want to watch for that higher low pattern to really get stuck into place and that curling action. We don't want to jump the gun on this, but we do have the potential to still reach these higher patterns and these higher levels. We just need to wait for that. Looking on the Nasdaq right now, you guys, we bounced up on the Nasdaq on that support trend line that I drew, that I said, hey, if this fails, you guys, we want to be aware of the potential for some downside right now. So we bounced off this. Who knows? It might stick, it might not. Either way, on the short term, we got some selling relief from that drop right here. This is a pretty strong trend line. So what I would be looking for is if we start to do this and really start to paint some type of a continuation pattern, that's going to look good. Or if we start to go like this and we just make a new low and then start to reject off the trend line and then start to bull trap, I'm really going to be worried. This is where I'd be getting out as much as possible. Often they do come test back on that trend line that they fall below and make it resistance. Be watching for that with the Nasdaq. And again, that could affect crypto. I made a great video on it yesterday, so check that one out. If we want to go over the top mover for the day, it's Digitex Futures, which is up like 1,600% in the past couple months. So shout out, 1,200% by the way. Shout out to anybody that's holding this. I love to see you guys making money and profiting off that. Now this is gonna drop. This is not gonna sustain this growth. Maybe it does this a little bit higher. Either way, this is gonna do an ABC correction, and I will be looking to buy because this coin popped out of nowhere, came up on the top market cap, and has good uptrending volume right here, and it seems to have that flare, that kind of spark that could take it pretty high. So I will be looking to buy on the retrace and see if this goes in for another Elliott wave on the upside. I like the way that this early cycle kind of looks and the amount of volume that it's producing. It's definitely on my watch list for the next little while. I know today's video is a little bit shorter, and I hope that you still got some valuable information from it. You can click and look at the analysis that we did from the last video and this video. If you want to sign up for Binance, you can click this link right here. We've got the coin market cap chart if you want to look at the analysis. Coinigy for charting on altcoins, BitMEX for leverage trading, my Bitcoin address if you like what I'm doing, and my VIP course if you want to get more hands-on with your trading. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop them in the box below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, stay profitable out there.